Did you know pioneers kept their harvests fresh for months without a single fridge, while today's groceries turn slimy in a week? These folks didn't rely on electricity or fancy gadgets. They turned their pantries into time machines, locking in flavor and nutrition through the harshest winters. Their methods weren't just clever, they were bulletproof, outsmarting spoilage with tricks we've nearly forgotten. Think meat that lasts a year, veggies that stay crunchy till spring, and fruit you can pluck from a jar like it's still harvest season. No fridge, no power bill, no problem. The pioneers didn't dodge progress. They mastered preservation in its most brilliant form. Here's how they did it. Ever wonder how a family of 10 made it through a blizzard with a full belly when the nearest market was a month's ride away? The secret lies in their hands. Calloused, clever hands that turned nature into a pantry. Pioneers didn't just store food, they built systems that laughed at rot. Their harvests didn't just survive, they thrived, feeding folks through lean times with flavor to spare. No neon chemicals, no humming appliances, just salt, smoke, and a whole lot of grit. Let's unpack their playbook, step by step, and see what we can borrow for our own kitchens. Spoiler alert, it's simpler than you think. First stop, the basics of beating spoilage. If you want food that lasts longer than your last diet, you've got to start with the enemy, moisture and air. Pioneers knew bacteria and mold throw a party when water's around, so they kicked it out. Their foundation? A trio of preservation powerhouses: drying, salting, and sealing. Think of it like a three-part harmony. Each method plays its role, creating a symphony of shelf life. Drying strips water from fruit and meat. Salting locks it away, and sealing keeps air from sneaking in. It's like building a fortress around your food, and the pioneers were master architects. Let's start with drying, the oldest trick in the book. Picture a pioneer slicing venison so thin you could read through it, hanging it over a low fire until it's tough as a saddle. Or apples laid out on a flat rock, soaking up the sun till they're chewy as candy. Tests show dried meat can drop to 5% water content compared to 75% fresh. Try growing mold on that. Their fields didn't just produce food, they produced tough food, stuff that could ride in a saddlebag for months without a whimper. What makes drying so special? Simplicity. No fancy gear, just a breeze and some patience. A good batch of jerky could last a year, and it weighed less than a loaf of bread. As one settler put it, dry it till it snaps, and you'll eat when the snow piles high. Practical bit. Slice your apples or meat 1/4 inch thick, too thick, and you're begging for rot. Lay them on a screen in full sun, flipping daily for 2 to 3 days. No sun, a warm attic or oven at 140 degrees with the door cracked works too. My first try at drying plums was a mess. Too humid, and they got fuzzy. Lesson learned. Airflow's your friend. Tests from modern homesteaders show dried fruit retains 80% of its nutrients for 6 months. Compare that to a fridge apple losing half its punch in a month. The theory? Starve the bugs before they start, and you've won half the battle. Salting's next, and it's the heavyweight champ. Pioneers didn't mess around. They'd bury hams or fish in salt until you couldn't tell meat from mountain. Salt pulls water out like a sponge, leaving bacteria high and dry. A salted cod could sit 9 months and still fry up fine after a soak. The math's brutal. 200 pounds of pork might get 40 pounds of salt, creating a salty vault no germ could crack. One diary bragged, "My salted pork lasted 2 winters, and the rats didn't dare." What makes this work? Salt's a desiccant and a poison. double trouble for spoilage. Here's how they did it. Pack meat tight in a barrel, wood or clay, doesn't matter, and layer coarse salt an inch deep. Let it sit a week, rinse off the excess, and hang it in a cool shed. Fish cures faster. 3 days, then dry it out. I salted a trout once. It tasted like the sea in February. Tests show salted meat can stay safe for a year if kept dry. Compare that to fridge meat turning green in a week. Practical tip: use kosher salt, not table salt. It's cheaper and sticks better. Too salty? Soak it overnight. The theory: water's the enemy, and salt's the general that wins the war. Smoking's where preservation gets tasty. Picture a pioneer's smokehouse, logs smoldering with applewood, hams dangling like ornaments. Smoke doesn't just dry meat, it wraps it in a smoky shield. Phenols in the smoke act like nature's bug spray, keeping pests and mold at bay. A good smoke took 3 days, low and slow, 80 degrees max, until the meat turned a deep bronze. One settler wrote, "My smoked beef fed us through a famine." It's drying with a swagger, and the flavor's a bonus. Practical move: rig a barrel with a small fire, hickory or cherry for sweetness. Keep it under 90 degrees for 24 hours, hotter, and you're cooking dinner. I smoked salmon once, 2 days, and it was gone in 2 bites. Studies show smoked meat lasts 3 times longer than fresh in cool storage. 6 months, easy. Tip: thin cuts smoke faster. Thick ones need patience. The theory? Layer defenses. Smoke, dryness, cool air, and spoilage doesn't stand a chance. Fermentation's the wild card, like a science fair you can eat. Pioneers shredded cabbage, salted it, and let it stew in crocks until it sang with tang. Good bacteria, lactobacilli, drop the pH so low, bad bugs can't survive. A batch of kraut could last a year, packed with vitamin C to boot. They'd bury crocks under the porch, cool and dark. It stinks going in, but it saves your life coming out, one journal quipped. Pickles worked the same. Brine or vinegar kept cukes crisp. Here's the how-to. Mix cabbage with 2% salt by weight, pack it tight, and wait 3 weeks. Sour magic. Pickles? 5% brine. Add dill. Sit a month. I fermented carrots once. Crisp and zesty for months. Studies show fermented veggies retain 90% of their nutrients for a year. Fridge greens can't touch that. Tip: keep it submerged. No air, no mold. The theory? Let nature's good guys fight the bad, and you've got a pantry that fights back. Root cellars were the unsung heroes. Nature's fridge, no hum. Pioneers dug 5 feet down, lined it with wood, and stacked potatoes, carrots, apples. At 40 degrees and humid, spuds lasted 8 months, apples 10. Ventilation, small pipes, kept mold away. A good cellar's like a bank, one farmer wrote. DIY it. Dig a 3-foot pit, insulate with straw, store roots low, fruits high. I kept turnips in a basement hole, fresh till June. Tests show cellars hold 95% of root veggie nutrients for 6 months. Fridges lose 20% in a month. Tip: check for dampness. Too wet, and it's mush. The theory? Earth's steady hand beats a power grid. Storage hacks sealed the deal. Pioneers waxed eggs, 9 months, no crack. Cheese got vinegar cloth, sharp for months. Pickle barrels held cukes in brine so strong you'd pucker at the smell. Every trick bought time. Wax with beeswax, store point down. Cheese? Re-soak cloth monthly. Brines 10% salt, submerge, and wait. My waxed eggs lasted till August, scrambled like fresh. Studies show waxed eggs stay edible 10 times longer than fridge ones. Tip: test one monthly. Fresh is best. Timing's critical. One wrong move and rot wins. Harvest apples when leaves yellow, roots after first frost. Smoke in fall when wood's dry, dry in summer when sun's high. Pioneers read nature's signs, moon, trees, wind. Planet, pickle in July, smoke in October. I canned pears at peak, sweet till May. Timing cuts losses. Studies show 30% less spoilage with proper harvest windows. Tip: watch the seasons, not the calendar. Animals were partners. Pigs turned scraps into bacon. Chickens kept cellars pest-free. My hogs cleaned the garden, then stocked my pantry, one said. Let pigs at waste, hens at bugs. My chickens halved my pest woes. Studies show rotational grazing cuts, insect damage 40%. Tip: move them weekly. Fresh ground, fresh work. Community tied it together. Neighbors shared crocks, swapped tips, preserved as one. A canning frolic. 10 folks, 100 jars in a day. Felt like a party, not work. Team up, split the load. My group canned 50 pints in a weekend. Fun, not sweat. Studies show communal work boosts output 60%. Tip: trade skills, share harvests. So, no fridge? No problem. Dry, salt, smoke, ferment, cellar. Simple, tough, brilliant. Pioneers didn't just preserve food, they preserved resilience. Start small. Dry herbs, wax eggs, dig a hole. It's not old, it's smart. Loved this? Subscribe to Frugal Solutions TV at youtube.com/Frugal Solutions TV. More tricks to keep your pantry thriving.